Alright, in this video we are going to solve a system of equations using our calculator and elementary row operations. So let me write up a system here. Oh, apparently I'm using green. Why not? Alright, let me just put some numbers in here. Think of your favorite number. I might write it down. How am I doing so far? 6, 1, 8. All right, and now let me get some solutions here. 3. Oh, that was a bad one. That's a bad one right there. All right, 1, 2. Okay, 10, 7, 5. 30. What's 30 plus 24? 54? Okay. So this might turn out great, or this might be terrible. Who knows? So our first step is to get this into our calculator. So we're going to go to second matrix, scroll over to edit, and I'm going to put this in matrix A. You might already have some matrices in there. I recommend just overwrite them if you know that you're not going to need them anymore. In our matrix on the right there in green, we have 3 rows and 4 columns. Now in the older style calculators, you'll see these dots over here. Well, it looks like a little line underscore there, which means it doesn't have enough space to show it all. On the new modern calculators, everything will be shown. So now we just put the numbers in. Make sure for the negative you hit the negative key and not the minus sign. Once you are done, go through and check every single number, because if these are wrong, there goes the whole thing. So again, so far all we did was second matrix. We want to edit, and then we put our numbers in to create our matrix. Once you are done, we're going to do second quit. This takes us back to the main screen. And now here come our operations. We need to get a 1 in the top left. We could multiply the first row by a half. That would create fractions, but again, in our calculator, calculator will take care of the fractions. Or what we could do instead is we could swap the first and second row. So R1 double arrow R2. So in the calculator, that's called row swap. And to get there, we'll go to second matrix. Scroll over once to math. Scroll up. And notice there's row swap. Hit enter on row swap. Row swap has 3 inputs. The first one is the matrix name. We go back to second matrix, and under names we select our matrix that we have created, which is A in my case. Comma is the button above 7, and now you put the rows that you're swapping. We're swapping 1 and 2, so 1, 2. Close off the right hand, close off the operation with the right parenthesis, hit store, and now we're going to save the matrix as itself, store, second matrix, A. Hit enter. And you'll notice comparing to our green matrix on the right there, we swapped the full first row with the second row. Now, what I said in class, and if you're watching this before class happens, what I will say in class is to save some paper, I like to do 1 column at a time. So now that there's a 1 in the top left, look in the computer screen, the calculator screen, excuse me, we need to get rid of the 2 below it. So to do that, we would have to multiply the first row, the new first row, by -2 and add it to the second row. So I'm just going to put that right here. -2 row 1 plus row 2 is going to make the new row 2. That in the calculator is a star row plus command, because star row meaning multiply a row, and the plus means add it to another row. Second matrix, go over to math, scroll up, and the last command is the star row plus. This has 4 inputs. The first one is the -2, the number you're multiplying by. Comma, second matrix, pick the name of the matrix you want, in this case A. Comma, we're multiplying row 1, comma, we're adding the result to row 2. Right parenthesis. And now do store, second matrix, we saved it as A. Hit enter. And now notice that the second row now starts with a 0, which is what we want. And now looking at the calculator screen, we have a 6 down there in the 3, 1 entry, third row, first column. We need that to be a 0. Using the 1 in that column, what would you multiply 1 by? So when you add it to 6, you get 0, -6. So -6, row 1, plus row 3 becomes row 3. What command is this in the calculator? Star row plus, because we're multiplying by row and adding it to another row. So again, second matrix. Go over to math, scroll up. There is star row plus. Hit enter. We are multiplying -6, comma, matrix name, comma, we are multiplying row 1, comma, we're adding it to row 3. Close off the operation, store, matrix A. Boop. And with that, our first column is done. So I'm just going to copy this down. Oh, this worked out so nice for you. Oh, you're so lucky. Back in my day. All right. Okay. So now where that -1 is at in the 2, 2 entry, second row, second column, we need that to become a +1. And then make everything else in that column into a 0. Now again, making 1s before 0s is recommended but not required. If you choose to make your 0s first, that's fine. This one would not be a bad column to do it in, because there's a -1. If instead of that -1 it was 18, I don't want to think about what do I multiply. Hey, I got a message. I don't want to think about what you would multiply 18 by. So when you add it to -11, you get 0. Ugh, terrible. So that's why I suggest making your 1s first, and that's the convention I'm going to use again. So to make that -1 into a +1, we're going to multiply. And basically we just multiply by -1. So negative row 2 becomes row 2. This will multiply the second row by -1. Since we're just multiplying and not adding, that's a star row command. So second matrix, math, scroll up, star row. Star row has 3 inputs. First, the number you're multiplying, in this case -1, comma, the matrix name, comma, the row you're multiplying, which is row 2. And the command store matrix name. Hit enter. Great. So now looking at the calculator screen, that 2 above the 1 and the -11 below the 1 have to become 0s. Pause the video. I'm going to go grab a snack. I want you to think about what those commands are going to be. Munchy munch, eating a snack. It's snacky time. All right, let's see how you did. So that would be -2, row 2, adding to row 1 will make that 2 into a 0. And then 11, row 2, plus row 3 makes that -11 into a 0. All right, hopefully you got that right. Now again, please pause the video, put those two into the calculator, or if you want to put the first one in, the -2, row 2, and see if you typed it in correctly comparing to what I have on my screen, that's fine. In fact, while you do that, I'm going to change my mode so we can see. Oh, I am in the pretty mode. Oh, that's sad. All right. That's okay. All right. So let's see if you did it right. So -2, matrix name. We're multiplying row 2. We're adding it to row 1. Close it off. Remember, store it. Enter. We got a 0 we want it. Do the same thing to get rid of the -11. Clickety click. Type it in the calculator. We're doing 11. Let me go back so you can see it. 11, matrix name. We're multiplying row 2. We're adding to row 3, and then we're storing it. Boom. Oh, those are some big numbers in there. Very good. So notice our second column is where we want it. Oh, I put that way too close. Oh, that's too close. It's like a 10. Boop, boop. Boop. Hooray. Okay, 3 more operations will take care of that. Where that 99 is at, what do we want? You know I can't really hear you, so it was quasi-rhetorical. But hopefully you said we want a 1, because that's totally what we want. So remember to make 1s. What will always work, it may not be the most efficient, is to multiply by reciprocals. So we'll do 1/99. Row 3 makes a new row 3. Don't worry, we're going to get nice and pretty numbers. If not, remember, as we said in class, or again in the future, as I will say in class, you can go to math. You can hit the math button and then convert to fraction. To get to the 1/99th, you don't need to make it look like a fraction. You can just say 1 divided by 99. And again, since we're just multiplying a row, we'll just use the star row command. So remember 3 inputs, 1 divided by 99 in this case, comma, the matrix name, comma, we're multiplying row 3, and we're going to store it as matrix A. Hitting enter. Oh, look how pretty that is. Now we need to get rid of that -17 and 11 as before. Pause the video. This time, write it all down and throw it in the calculator. Hopefully you get it right. So those two lines would be 17 row 3 plus row 1 makes the new row 1. And -11 row 3 plus row 2 makes the new row 2. So let's do that. Those are going to be 2 star row plus commands. Boop. Looking good. Yeah. So now looking at our matrix. Ugh, I don't know what happened there. X is 5. Y is 0. And Z is 1. I'm sorry, Z is 3. So you'd write that as an ordered pair. 5, 0, 3, boop. Yay. And again, if this was decimals and you wanted fractions, you would just hit the math button, and the very first option there is convert to fraction. We're going to get back to the same answer there because those are our whole, I can do this all whole numbers. So that's why that one was nice. All right. Hopefully this helped. Have a good day.